Hey guys, back at you again. Custom built for play go mode. Hey, here to talk about this here. Nice little toy. It's I think it's this is the R, oh, not think, this is the RC Exceed, Drift King. And I changed the body up with the GT. Excuse the cut. The cut is kind of off. The body's not down, but this thing is a piece of work. A real piece of work. It's like a bullet. This thing, it goes, and it's geez, fast. Now I clocked it at 45, 46, and that was just on a street. It wasn't that smooth. It bounced a little, so I'm pretty sure that took away maybe about 2 miles an hour or so. But yeah, this thing moves. This is a good brand of tire. I don't forgot what it was, but that tread right there is good. This tread right here is actually good. It's backwards, but yeah, it's still good. Yeah. So, and the rims are just so easy to work with. Putting the tires on, so that's one thing you might want to do when you get one, or if you get one. It's a drift car, so it's going to come with hard wheels. So your first thing to probably buy, honestly, is some rubber wheels. Then from there, I up the ECS. Here you go. You know, always me, custom built. Always go with the 120s. And this is a 3300 Ghoul RC brushless motor. A little light system in there and all. See the extra extension, which works for the headlights here and the rear tail lights. Yeah. Then also I bought, if you could see this, the netting here. This is actual really real car tent, and it's cheap. You get about $12 for about a good maybe 2 feet or so, and maybe about a foot across. So two by one, 1x2, however you want to call it. So, and it actually sticks. You can just lay it on here, but make sure you clean the glass off. I just laid it on here. This is kind of rough, but it works. Pull it up to the light so you can see actually how it's on there. See that there? That is nice. And I like the way it sits. It doesn't come off if you put it on right. I see a little spot there that I probably did that myself. But it's on there. And like I said, it's a pretty good car. Steering, everything. I got to work on my drifting. Okay, because I'm kind of like probably too much throttle. That's all that is. Just me and the throttle. And this throttle steering. So that's, I guess, drifting all along. But yeah, this thing moves. I added a tail to it, a different tail in the back. I like my tails to go backwards, to be back, just for the look. And also, I was figuring for wind resistance and all. Yeah, it may help, may not. Don't know. Just something I tried. Cause just to have that wind, I like to play with the wind in the back of the car. So when it hits this, it shoots it down, but when it hits the top, it shoots it up. So I'm kind of hoping that levels it out, which I never have a problem with steering, because the steering, it goes when I want to turn, it turns. I had to adjust the steering trim the faster you go, because this thing will just spin out on you. So I'm kind of thinking that's the way actually race cars go. You go too fast, and all, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, this thing has been a beast for me for the longest. This is the first thing I clocked. The first thing actually, I actually had put lights into, and actually made me decide to do this Flex Seal thing here, because the rocks were just throwing dirt all in there, and it was just bouncing inside my fan here. As you can see, here you go, custom built fans. Here we go. Let me show you another example. People think that I play when it comes down to my fans, but there it is. as you can see. I just stick them next to the motor. This one has a built-in heat sink. As you can see, as most motors like this is a heat sink. These are heat sinks. So being as though it had that already, I didn't want to go trying to force anything over in that little space in between. And I just said, you know what, I'll just line the motor up here. Give you a little light. Line the motor up right there and everything should be good. Excuse my trash bin. And all kind of stuff over there that I'm going to be messing with. But actually too, if you actually order one of these cars, they're cheap. You can use those slices of plastic to cover maybe open gearboxes and things like that. That's why I keep that, to cover open gearboxes. That'll be the next project. I'll probably end up using maybe some the hot glue, and just glue it on there, or crazy glue. Crazy glue sticks to the plastic like, and it stays. Just regular old crazy glue. I haven't had anything pop off with crazy glue yet. As you can see, you know how much these cars about weigh. And you can see that's one of mine's, the blue. See the blue tag? And here it is. Here it is. I'm holding it up by that. So that's about maybe about a good 3 to 4 pounds. It's just getting held up by crazy glue. So yeah. And also too, what I was saying about the Flex Seal. See how my wiring is in there? This is the only part of my wire that's dirty, which I should have just sprayed this whole wire line with Flex Seal. Usually I do that at time. When it comes down to it, I spray this whole line here, Flex Seal, to keep the dirt off, because this here is just so messed up. But if I pull this tape up, the wire underneath this tape is brand new, and this is Flex Seal down too. So after crashing, yes, the Flex Seal will come up every once in a while, but I double layered the tape, so it's still more tape there. So I layered it with the tape. Then, you know, to strengthen the body, and then I laid the electric works and all down, and then I taped that down with a single strip, and then Flex Seal. And it actually, I said, it works. It's coming up now. Like I said, I've crashed. I've crashed so many times. Like I said, if you look at the areas, look at that. Look at that. I mean, like I said, when you get out of control with these things, you get out of control. And things get out of control. And it's actually funny just to watch it slide, because you're like, no. And then pat. And also, too, when it comes down to this, guys, and I would advise this, and this is something I've looked at. I've had this car for almost a year and some time now. And something I would advise, highly advise, is not to go with the aluminum wheels. And get an extra spare plastic, because when you're riding, these wheels are low to the ground, so any sliding, any hitting manholes or anything like that or something like that, you will crack these rims. The aluminum, I'm kind of feeling as though they probably will bend, and they cost more when you can pay for $16 and get a whole tire set. So yeah, which I'm thinking about going with an aluminum pair just for show, because I like the way they are. You know, I had a Mustang body on here. I mean, a Camaro body that was so fucking lovely. Excuse my language, guys. But what happened was, me and my paint jobs, I didn't scratch the paint. And yeah, it kind of peeled. I had smoked the windows out and all. You know, give you a little look at it, what it was. So, let me give you actually all 3 bodies that this thing came with. All 3 bodies that I've used on this, and what I've chose to stick with. So, this is the original body. As you can see how high that is. I'm going to give you an angle how high that is compared to all the rest. So yeah, that was, and this one actually sits low. It's just the way it is, you know. It sits lower. But yeah, so I went with a lower body and wider, and that was good for a while, which was this one, lower and wider. But I didn't want to tear the body up, and as you can see, this thing is plush. I like this body. I had the engine here coming up out of the roof here, but what had happened was I crashed a few times and this happened. So, and plus, here it is. I didn't tape it. I was checking to see how the prime works, and the primer is actually good that I have. So I'm gonna get another can of that. But as you can see, it's really prime here, and it's kind of chipped and peeled. Smoked the windows. That was nice. The smoke is nice. Because when this is on the ground, you can't even really see in there unless certain lights hit it. So yeah. So as you can see, I went with that. And also, that's a wide body. It's like a spaceship when it rides. So, that was kind of off setting to me because, I wanted speed. I didn't want all of that wind hitting. So what I did was saw this body. And this body is so low to the ground, you have to get on certain angles to see it when it's at a distance. So, and it moves. It leaves the ground actually if it hits certain bumps, but it comes right back down to the ground. Like it'll give a little, but it always goes back down no matter what. And it does that jump every time. The way I have it set, it'll hit, glide, and go. So that's why I went with that body. That's it. It's a piece. The Mad Speed drift car. Well, a few upgrades. But yeah, and like I said, usually I would advise anybody, if you buy one, keep an extra, maybe I'm gonna say $120 on the side, no matter what you buy, if it's brushless, brushed, because when you want to go brushless, you'll see the big difference, and your experience, like it depends on how often and your mindset on how good you do with these things, because you have to actually think. So you can't just be stuck once I step on the squeeze the trigger. It's supposed to just do what it's supposed to do. No, you have to do a little bit of thinking when it comes down to these things. Then when you're doing the tricks, you have to do a lot of thinking. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Exceed RC, Drift King, GT Body, 120 amp ECS, which you don't have to go that high, or I'd go overkill on the ECSs because I want to control the power, but you don't have to go that way. Now, with a 3300 kV motor, Cool RC, they're cheap. They were about maybe $30. And they're good for this model. Don't put this in something bigger than this. And if you have something small like this, you can put those motors in it. I wouldn't go too big because the can size is a lot smaller than the 540 motors for trucks and the 540 motors for your cars. Your truggies and buggies. So like I said, it's a lot smaller motor. I get a lot more torque out of it. It's being as though I have that torque, it moves. Now if it's small, you can go for a lot of torque. A whole lot of torque. But make sure the weight is not too much for it, because all you're getting is just torque. So it has to be able to just maybe I'm gonna say it like this, blow on a piece of paper and it goes. That's the weight level of that torque, of too much torque. If you go for a lot of torque, it has to be so lightweight, whereas you just push it and it goes. So don't go too high in the torque. And if you have to with larger vehicles, just be careful with that. You need power. Like I said, this is a light one. It just moves on its own. A lot of things that I have, they don't glide like this. So that's why I like this. And a drift car, so I guess they made for those gears to just do what they have to do. All right, guys. Like, subscribe. You can catch me on YouTube, as you see. Custom Built for Play Go Mode. Like, subscribe. Facebook. Custom Built for Play. I have a page where as though I have little small things on there. Some of the same videos, but other things that I've been trying to work on. So Get at me, guys. Like, subscribe, join the group. Peace out.